So hello, welcome again to our Money Talk series. Today we will be discussing on our last stage of our financial framework, which is to manifest or to redesign our goals. So to recall, we have six stages in our financial framework of the value-driven financial planning, which is first the discover. So you have to discover your own personal values. Second is to evaluate or to assess your current financial situation or to know where you are right now. And third is to allocate, which is to make a budget and stick to it. Fourth is to really prioritize, so you have to be prepared for any emergencies. And fifth is to grow your hard-earned money to beat inflation. And this is it, the sixth and the last stage of our financial framework, which is the redesign your goals. So, to start, I would like you to think on, I would like you to think during nung mga bata pa tayo. So, di ba may mga dreams tayo? And I want you to look back on that moment in your life, and I want you to really you to visualize your dream. And so whatever dream you have right now, I want you to, tip number 1 is to write it down. So tip number 1 is to write it down. So if you have started already, so that's good. And writing down your goals makes them real and easy to focus on, right? So you must commit writing your goals on paper. So no excuses. So a useful tool when setting your goals is yung mga dream board, vision board, so yung mga ganun. So a critical point to note is that your dream board or vision board would be something that you look at every day to remind you of the goals that you set, and more importantly, to motivate you towards achieving that goal. So therefore, you should really spend some time to decorate it or to draw or to take pictures or images so that it will inspire you, so that it will give you something that will make you want to fulfill your goal as soon as possible. So, the next step is to, tip number 2 is to make it a smart goal. So, what is a smart goal? A smart goal is something that is specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bounded. So that is why it's SMART. The abbreviation is SMART. So these are criteria of a well-defined goal. You should make sure that the goal you set adheres to these 5 rules. So specific is what exactly needs to be accomplished. Then who else will be involved? So yun. Lahat nakaplano na yun. So you have to take it down. You have to write it down. Kung ano yung mga specific steps. So where will this take place? So, for example, so I will start planning toward retirement by starting a life insurance with investment plan. So it's very specific. Not just like planning for retirement. Hindi, diba? So, hindi siya specific. So, next is measurable. So, how will I know I've succeeded? Know kung saan ka na sa goal mo. And, mame-measure mo talaga siya. I-measure mo siya. How much change needs to occur? So, yun. So, how many accomplishments or action will it take? So, for example, this one. I will start planning toward retirement by starting a life insurance, diba? Yun yung specific. Ito, with investment plan and saving 5,000 every month. So, it's an example of a measurable. May figures na kasi aside from specific, very, may measure siya since may mga numbers na involved, di ba? Then, third is achievable. So, do I have or can I get the resources needed to achieve the goal? So, look at what skills and resources you already have. So, if may trabaho ka, ayun, i-assess mo. And compare them to the things needed to achieve your goal. So, do you think achievable ba siya? Diba? So, iyon, i-evaluate mo. Think about whether you'll be able to learn or get the things you lack right now. And is the goal a reasonable stretch for me? Neither out of reach nor too easy. So, yun. Kailangan mo i-assess kung kakayanin ba talaga to or hindi. Diba? So, next is realistic. So, am I willing to make these commitments to reach the goal, and then why? So, you have to answer this one. So, even though if ever mahirap tong goal na ito, pero if committed ka, so it would become a realistic goal. And are the actions I plan to take like to bring success? So, how likely it would be a success for you and why? So, the tip here is to research into the facts and figures relevant to your goals. So, then think about the resources. So, for example, diba, yung early, example, which is the retirement plan. So, gusto niyang masimulan yung retirement plan niya through investing in life insurance. So, pwede naman din yung mayari. At saka, magsisave siya ng 5,000 pesos. So, achievable ba sa kanya yun? Or realistic ba sa kanya yun? May resources ba siya as to the 5,000? So, yun yung mga facts. So, ask yourself if your goal makes sense in your situation. So, ito din, hindi ba tayo over dun sa pag-set ng goals? Yun. Isa din yun sa kino-consider. So, sa sitwasyon ko, kaya ba? Yung mga ganun. Diba? Para realistic naman. And, the last is time-bound. So, what is the deadline for reaching the goal? So, deadline is if you have a goal of short-term or long-term. Meaning short-term is, it's like 4 to 5 or 3 to 5 years. Then, long-term is for 10 to 20 years. So, may mga deadlines. Kung if short-term siya, if ever you would like to buy a car, or you would like to save for a down payment, so after 1 year, 2 years, i-build mo siya, and yung mga ganun. So, dapat may resources ka din, of course, your income, if kaya, di ba? So, when do I need to take action? I will start planning toward retirement by starting a life insurance linked to investment and saving 5,000 every month for the next 25 years. So, ito, naka-time-bound na siya. So, this is one of the best examples on how you really set your goals or to redesign your goals. So, di ba? Mas clear na. So, at least nandun na sa mind nyo na every month, magsisave ako ng 5,000 for the next 25 years. Diba? Since I have 25 years from my retirement, diba? Isa din yun. So, and next. So, an example of a SMART goal statement is this. So, I will be able to buy a house at my 35th birthday. So, it will be a 3-bedroom house with 2 rooms. Diba? O, very specific. So, better draw and design it. So, it will range 1.5 to 2 million pesos. So, you have an idea na already of how much it would be. After nag-design ka ng house, diba? Or after mo mapa-design yun sa architect, so at least from there, alam mo kung magkano yung goal or yung target na budget mo para you could construct your own house. I will get a 25-year mortgage. So, dito kiniconsider din yung mortgage. So, kung magkano o ilang years kayang bayaran o ilang years mo gustong bayaran. So, isa din to. So, to make extra payments to pay it off in 20 years. So, gusto niya ma-pay off in 20 years. So, I will save 300,000 for the next 3 years to make down payment. So, yun. It's very specific and very measurable. Na-measure niya kasi may klaro sa kanya yung 2M or 2 million na cost ng house niya. Diba? So, achievable ba siya? Diba? Achievable siya since may income naman siya. Or, diba? And, is it realistic? O, yun. Realistic siya kasi pwede siya namang mag-mortgage, diba? And, that is time-bounded. So, may mga mga deadlines or mga timelines on how to really pay, on how to really first save para dun sa down payment and to really plan kung ilang years lang niya gustong bayaran. So this is an example of a very smart goal. Diba? So tip number 3. So take some immediate action within the next 48 hours to start moving towards your goal. So if ever, for example, diba? I know setting goals that are too general is going to make it difficult, diba? Pag general talaga yung goal mo, mahirap siya kasi hindi mo alam kung saan ka gustong or hindi mo alam kung paano magsimula. And it is also going to be difficult to measure how you are doing. So therefore, in goal setting, it is advisable to break big goals into chunks or break it into smaller steps. So think of the chunks as action steps or action items. So these actions are measurable units that you put to milestone. So for example, your first step is to take immediate action in the next 48 hours, diba? So for instance, in relation dun sa example natin earlier, which is owning a house, so one possible immediate action is going online and search for houses that are currently for sale within your price range and interest. O, diba? So, there are many things you could do. So, the key is to do something and take actions that can make your written goal real. So, that's it. So, kailangan mo lang talagang take action. And mas better if within 48 hours, if may plano kang to own a house. Diba? So, write your action steps down on paper and together with the list of goals you prepared earlier. So, pwede mo siyang ilagay din doon sa dream board mo or sa vision board mo. So, when you break your goals down into action steps kasi and find they are not within your ability or skill set to accomplish within a specified periods, so rework them. So, kailangan i-rework mo pag nakikita mo na siya, hindi na siya ideal, hindi na siya practical. So, rework them until you find the right mix of actions. And making the goals and actions too difficult will set yourself up for frustration. So, yun. Pag hindi mo kasi alam kung ano yung first step na alam mo na kayang gawin. So, pag hindi mo alam yun, nakaka-frustrate kasi feeling mo malayo ka pa sa goal mo. And it's really disappointing, di ba? So, minsan yung iba, nag-stop na, ayoko na sa goal ko, yung mga ganun. So, when not being able to accomplish them, we felt yung mga disappointment talaga. And goal steps should be positive and not used to least obstacles that must be overcome, which focuses on the negative. So, and I know, and it's very real that negativity can kill motivation. But somehow, there is the power of positive thinking. And although defining goals is important, creating action items or creating an action steps related to those goals is the key to making them a reality. So yun, action steps ang talaga, di ba? Same din yung, di ba, pag wala kang gagawin, wala talaga, hindi ka makakapunta dun sa gusto mo or kung saan yung gusto mo. And it is much easier to perform smaller chunks of work, di ba? So, it is much easier to perform or to take action pag iniisa-isa mo, or you have to take like the baby steps. So, furthermore, steps also allow for tracking of progress towards the goal. So, pag may mga steps ka na tinake down o ni-write down mo, so at least magiging guide mo na din siya kung saan ka na. Diba? So, may progress ba dito? Kailangan ko bang, kung walang progress, ano pang dapat kong gawin? Yung mga ganun. In listing down your goals, or in listing down the sub-activities or the activities towards your goal, try to list out the significant points that will gradually lead you to reaching your goal. Then, set a deadline for each of these milestones. So, meron ding mga deadline itong mga sineset mo na action items. And you can try to break it down into some tasks to do. So, smaller tasks. And habits, of course, to develop, or skills to learn. Tip number 4. So, this is share your goals with someone you love and trust. Why? Because, diba, I believe kasi that the best way to reach your goal is to get help. And if you don't share them with anyone, how would you be able to gain support? Diba? Minsan kasi, ang ibang tao din yung way, or ibang tao din yung tutulong sa'yo to really reach your goal. So, a support that can be found from your own family, your friends, or even co-workers. So, maybe somebody in the room could help you. So, you have to really open it up. Diba? Malay mo, may makakatulong talaga sa'yo. So, for instance, your dream is to spend more time with your family. Share it with them. So, may short-term dream ka na, you want to travel really with them. And you have to really list down the specifics kung saan kayo pwedeng pumunta, yung budgetary requirements, yung mga ganun. So, your family could be your support system, di ba? So, baka may mag-volunteer din, di ba, na, ito, mag-budget tayo, baka may mag-volunteer na to really support you with your budget, di ba? Or to really support you in planning the travel, or to really support you in any way na magiging happy yung travel niyo, di ba? So, establishing an accountability or partnership is relatively simple. So, you just have to follow these procedures. So, look for someone you trust and be your accountability partner. So, tell them about your goals and let them know specific actions that you intend to take to meet your goals, as well as the consequences or rewards for taking or not taking them. So, dapat detalye din siya pag napag-usapan niyo. Ano yung reward, ano yung consequence pag hindi mo na-achieve itong mga smaller actions or specific actions. So, you could also set up yung mag-meet kayo to really check on your goals, if saan na kayo banda dun sa goals niyo, diba? And to revisit goals and strategies with everyone. So, you have to really like, it's a good help also to really identify if on track ka dun sa mga goals mo. So, it is very important to reiterate dun sa accountability partner mo that you are going to find should be someone whom you can trust. And yun. Pero dapat, yung partner mo din is very honest and dun sa progress niyo. And para dun, and of course, he or she will push you on your success journey. So, it will be easier if the person shares similar goals, di ba? Or is able to relate to what you are trying to achieve. So, yun, yung common ground nyo dun is you have that same goal, you have that same interest to really push through with your goal. So, but most importantly, your partner has to be committed in helping you succeed. So, yung accountability buddy mo, of course, committed din siya. So, at the end of the day, we are much more likely to take action when there is someone around. So, agree ba kayo doon? Pag may nag-check or, uy, kumusta yung goals mo, di ba? It's more likely to be achieved. And, pag may nagtatrack, di ba? Pag may, mas exciting pag may kausap ka, and mas exciting kung i-share mo, and somehow, makakakuha ka ng idea from them. And yun. Yun yung pinakamalaking tulong doon. So, tip number 5. So, there is a need to constantly check your progress and ensure that you are still on track. So, para din kasi yung biyahe, di ba? So, ano yung progress? You have to really check your progress kung ano na ba, saan na ba ako, ano pang dapat kong kailangan gawin, di ba? So, am I getting closer to my goal? Or is my action plan working? Or does it need adjustment? So, along the way, kailangan mo din siyang i-assess. Yun. Bakit? Baka may mga adjustments or baka may mga unexpected things na nangyari, di ba? So, you have to, like, ma-address mo siya earlier. And you could really, like, ma-prevent mo some of the, consequences or some of the problems na mangyayari once you have checked your goals regularly. So, make a checklist, that charts your progress. So that in times when it seems like your goal is too far or feel so far pa siya, out of reach pa talaga, so you can look at your progress checklist and visually see how far you have come and how much closer you are to your goal. May mga action steps, may mga solution ka din dun dapat dun sa mga ganun. So, mga unexpected things that happen. So, same like, yun. Example, your goal is to really, balik tayo dun sa owning a house. So, nakapag-build up ka na ng savings mo. But when something happens, especially if something happens sa family mo, or may mga sickness, yung mga ganun, may mga hospitalization, of course, if hindi ka handa dun kung paano mo i-address yung emergency na yun, so, basically, ang mangyayari is that yung savings mo yung mako-compromise. So, how to really address that? So, para ma-avoid mo na hindi magagamit yung savings mo for that goal of owning a house, so you should have set an emergency fund. Parang ganon. So, mga ganon yung mga action steps mo. Diba? So, ina-anticipate mo na yung mga realities of life. And so here, there are only two options, right? So, make progress or make excuses. And ito nga yung sinasabi ko, never allow challenges to get you down. Because challenges are very normal. And I know all challenges, and I know God really give those challenges for us to learn. And I believe kasi na all those challenges, ma-overcome siya with the right solutions. May mga solution, di ba? In all problems, there's a solution. Sabi ni Chinkitan. So, yun. So, first is, put your 100% commitment. So, it's always easy to say, di ba, that you are going to do something, but actually, doing it is another story. So, this is very analogous to people who make the same New Year's resolution, di ba? Same thing din, pag may mga New Year's resolution tayo, hindi din naman natin nagtitake action, so hindi committed. So, may mga ganun. So, refusing to take actions, yun. Yung isa sa pinaka-challenge doon. So, you have to really put your 100% commitment. So, the first step is always the hardest, and I know, and ito din yung mga sinasabi ng iba. And hence, be brave. So, take it. Just do it. Even if it is a baby step. So, di ba, Nike, just do it. It's a very popular tagline, and it's very inspiring tagline. Di ba? Just do it. And commitment creates more accountability and is what sets us on direct course to reach our goals. So, making commitment might be something like having invested your savings in your new business, or which has suffered costly consequences. So, when you are fully committed to your goal, you will give yourself no excuses, only results. And you will be disciplined in carrying out your action plans. And there is no debate in your head already. So, you will move forward every day no matter what the circumstances if you're really committed. Right? So, embrace failure. Number 2. So, the fear of failure is what keeps a lot of people away from becoming successful. So, instead to embrace it, bear in mind that you could learn something from this temporary setback, and you will definitely be closer to the right path towards your goal after this. So, I think wala naman sigurong nagiging successful na hindi dumadaan sa mga challenges, right? And people will say discouraging words, and discouraging things will happen around you. But it is only you who can let that go to your mind and affect you. So, ikaw lang din yung may control dun sa sarili mo. If you let it control you, yung mga failures. So, stay positive and you will get there eventually. Diba? Para din siyang umaakyat ng bundok. Mahirap, marami kang pagdadaanan, at saka, sometimes you would think na magi-give up ka na. But when you already in the summit, diba? When you're already there in your destination, diba? It's very fulfilling. And yun, makakalimutan mo din lahat yung mga hirap mo along the way. Diba? Yun yung mas importante. Keep moving forward. Yeah. So, practice makes perfect. So we heard this, right? But to be more specific, the key to master anything is to embody persistence. So we have to really be persistent and diligent. So you can practice something once every 2 months and not get very good at whatever you are doing. So on the other hand, persistence will almost always deliver results. So yun, in spite of it all, we have to be persistent despite of those challenges. So we have to really continue to move forward. And having clearly laid out the goals you want to achieve, you will need to persevere to the very end in order to succeed. So, many people believe that if you really want something, you will do whatever it takes to make it happen, di ba? Pag may gusto, may paraan. And high achievers will accept this notion and are willing to do all the necessary actions to accomplish their targets. So they will not view the work as something like exhausting, but usually this happens from being persistent, and you should work yourself towards this attitude. Di ba? Persistent. Practice makes perfect. And this one. So, I will be sharing with you also this goal setting worksheet, and I will be posting the link below or in the comment section, or you could just comment goal setting, diba? And I will give it to you the link for this form. You could immediately start, or you could immediately start with this form for you to have a clarity on your goals. So once you have written down your top 5 dreams, the next step is to spend a little time thinking about what would it take them to reality. So, yun. Magiging part ng SMART goals is yung mga action steps mo na feeling mo ma-achieve mo, yung very realistic na mga action items. And the easier your dream to realize, it should be more defined to estimate what it will cost. Diba? So once you have a good idea of what will it take, you can determine how much more you need to put away each month. So saying like, yung example kanina, magtatabi siya ng 5,000 per month. And para doon sa target niya na down payment for a house na 300,000, di ba? So, yun. So, by putting away each month, you will feel your dream come closer to reality. And you will find yourself getting more excited about it. Di ba? So, very exciting. So, what's next? So, you can see that planning is very important when it comes to your finances, di ba? Kasi, dito din yung basis mo for how to really achieve your goals. So, as soon as you choose the best option for you, then the game will finally start. And you can now save a lot and use these savings to invest and generate more income. Obviously, I can't teach everything about this because I know each of us has a different situation. Each of us has different goals. And for me to do this right now, and for me to be able to help you right now, so you could message me. I will be giving a strategy session. So I will also be putting the link for the calendar if you want. And that's it. If ever there is a concern, there is a question, so you could just simply message me. Alright, so hope to see you more in my videos because I will be sharing a lot. I will be sharing not just this financial framework, but I will be also sharing tips on personal finance and personal growth in a financial aspect. And I really thank you for being here and for taking time to watch my videos, and you could feel free to watch my other videos. And so thank you, and see you in my next video.